I'm going to be 100% honest, and you already read the title of the actual YouTube video. I'm in a losing streak right now. It is the biggest losing streak that I've ever had. I can't. What is going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Lewis. I know you see the fresh cut. I'm looking nice. Appreciate you coming in. First and foremost, thank you so much for the amount of support we've been getting on the Instagram. If you haven't been following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It should be down in the description and it should pop up somewhere here on the screen. Yeah, I'm doing a road to 50K funded account, or passing a 50K funded account, with all my live executions on Instagram every day. So make sure you go out and support. Leave a comment. Let me know how your trading journey is going down in the comments of this video. Let me know how your week went on the comments of this video. Yeah, I don't want to make this video too long. I want to get straight into everything that's going on. So let's hop into the sponsor of this video and then we'll hop into my Discord. All right, we are in the sponsor of this video, which is Tektronix.com. You can use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. They have free shipping on all their products and they have a 1-year warranty. So if you want to build a PC with the best available parts in the market, make sure you go and check out their website. They have been doing a lot of upgrading, and I even think they added the new Nova 2 right here. So let's just go check it out. $1,400 setup is a very nice setup budget wise, and you can see all the specs and all that and everything it has in here. Very professional. I love how they redid their website. It looks a lot better than it did before. As you could see, you could browse their collections and all that stuff, even see it in action. You could actually join their email list down on the bottom as well, and even hit contact them and get quoted on anything you want to add to your build. So go ahead and check them out. As always, my favorite setup, the Future Setup LV Flip, $1,200 setup. Very good setup for trading, just a workspace PC in general. If you do any type of video editing, photo work, 3D work, you know, all that type of stuff, all the specs are there. Go ahead and check them out and use my discount code. Now let's move on to the Discord. All right, now we are in the Discord. The link is down in the description. Make sure that you join, or in my Instagram. I always post it all the time on my stories. It is also in my actual profile on Instagram, so go ahead and check it out. I'm just trying to build a community of traders who are here to learn. Honestly, I want everybody to be able to come in here and ask any questions, and, you know, build a good community where nobody feels like they're gonna look stupid if they ask a certain question. So that is just my goal with the Discord. Honestly, like I said, all I ask is that if you do join the free Discord, that you are active in it. Just keep the conversation going. Ask any questions. If you see somebody ask a question and you know the answer to, ask a question. If you want to just, you know, be funny, anything like that, do whatever you want. I just ask that you don't make it a toxic environment, because I will kick you. Like I said, you could see we've been talking with a couple new members. We have right now 64 members. As you know, I also offer a premium Discord with a bunch of lectures right here. I'm going to add at least one more lecture this weekend. You also get the weekly live calls, and you get access to the premium chat and all that in there, as well with the real estate that is coming up. I can't say too much about it because it is being worked on, but if you do want to join the premium Discord, that is what you get. It is beginner friendly. You could have no experience at all, and it has a guide. You just hit start here, and then from there you just follow the list all the way down. And like I said, I'm adding more stuff. There's going to also be a crypto section with the premium Discord that I'm going to be adding later on, but if you want to join that, just hit the join premium, and in there are also my one-on-one calls. If you want to learn how to trade or learn how I view the markets, you can go ahead and check it out. All you have to do also, if you want to see any type of testimonials, you go into the testimonials. This is my student who has been doing live calls with me since the month started, so about 3 weeks, and as you can see, this is from today. You could just read what it says on the screen. I have nothing else to say. This is exactly from today. He sent me this, and this one is from him beforehand. So the calls have been working for him, and all I can say is that the proof is in the pudding, you know. So if you want to check it out, go ahead. You don't have to join my premium. You don't have to join the one-on-one calls. If you want to just join the free Discord and have a good time, it's there for you. Now let's get into the charts. All right, so this is what the week ended up looking like. We ended up having a Monday low of week all the way up to, or I guess you could say Tuesday, because this kind of happened at after the 1800s, so kind of a Tuesday low of week, but really a Monday low of week, all the way up to a Wednesday high of week, and then Friday just came back within the range. I'm going to be 100% honest, and you already read the title of the actual YouTube video. I'm in a losing streak right now. It is the biggest losing streak that I've ever had. I can't get a TP for nothing. I don't know. I do know what it is. I'm going to do a lot of reflecting over this weekend. I have a lot that I have written down in my journal that I have to go over, and I'll explain everything that happened in the video. But like I said, I haven't won a trade in 2 weeks. It happens. It's part of trading, and I see it as a bigger picture. I see it as, you know, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is preparing me for something. There's something that I have to learn in order to hit that next level. He's testing my faith right now. So that's the best way that I really see it, because I have a very good view of the markets. My analysis is, I'll say 90% of the time on point. It's just my executions, and a lot of it this week I have noticed that is with time frame alignment and really getting into trading trades without any confirmation, just trying to get like bottom ticks and stuff like that, instead of actually waiting for some type of confirmation after we hit a key level or anything like that, like a point of interest, and then looking for either the reversal out or the continuation. Yeah, let's just get into the week. All the trades that I took this week were on my Instagram. They were all losing trades, so I really just don't want to talk about the losing trades. They're on my Instagram if you want to see it, but I will talk about what trades could have been taken on these certain days, because there were actual good trades, and I'll talk about what I'm implementing into my own trading. Let's start with Monday. So Monday, actually I didn't trade on Monday because I believe Monday was a Martin Luther King Day, if I'm not mistaken. So I didn't trade on Monday. There was a couple things that I guess could have been taken on Monday. Mostly the swing trade that could have been taken on Monday was what could have been taken in here. I didn't take any swing trades or anything like that. There was a nice long pre-market that a couple people ended up taking, but the market closed early, so I was like, you know, I might as well not even risk money on a day like this. But the move wasn't bad. The move was not bad at all. As you could see, at 8:30 we had news, and then it just shot all the way up to then come back down. As you could see, and later on in the afternoon it came back down. But let's see what happened at 9:30. We opened, went up a little bit more, and then just dumped to then, you know, I guess a long that could have been taken was around here at 12, up to this high. You know, maybe this fair value gap right here. Knowing myself, I would have been targeting this if I took that long. But really just choppy price action apart from that, unless you got in here somewhere, hit this order block, and then got a long up to this order block. But most of the price action on this day was choppy until the end of the day, which was the opportunity to take a long. This is where price actually gave the swing trade entry inside of the 1 hour fair value gap. If you take the range from Friday, so you take Friday's low all the way up to Monday's high, and you mark it out, we came down to the 79% level and then boomed, and that kind of confirmed my bullishness for the rest of the week. That is what ended up happening on Monday. Like I said, I didn't trade that day, so I didn't really pay much attention to it. This would have been the setup that could have been taken on that day. Honestly, I don't know what it looked like on the 1 minute, but we were in a 1 hour fair value gap. I don't know if we had let's see if we had a 15-minute gap. We did have a 15-minute gap that we came into. I guess you could have been looking for a 1 minute change of state inside of this, but when you have such a big fair value gap on the higher time frame, I think it's just good to mark it out. You could have marked it out and seen where it was respecting. It really came down very deep, so it came down to the 75%, or it's backwards. So as you can see, it's just doing wick damage, but it's staying above the 50%. So I guess you could have been looking for that. Maybe if you had that 15-minute POI and you wanted to see some type of change of state of delivery in here. Let's see if we got it on the 1 minute, or if it was just a straight up wick, because sometimes it's just a straight up wick and gives you no real change of state. Gave opportunity. You could see it was a pretty long wick, and it rejected off of it. I think really waiting for some type of confirmation was the best thing to do, and honestly the best thing to do was either wait for this fair value gap to get tapped, or is the real change of state of delivery. So anything in here would have been a valid trade to take after we closed above like this. But at the same time, it wasn't like a crazy expansion move up after this. It wasn't like a very energetic expansion. So I think honestly, I would have, if I was looking for a swing trade, this would have been my entry inside of this 1 minute fair value gap. After this was ran through and closed above like this, I would have been looking for a retracement and then taking it inside of this inverse 1 minute. Obviously it would be a swing trade, so it would be something like this, and then having your stop at the low. I know it's a pretty wide stop at the moment right now, but it's a swing trade. You can't have, it's not bad to leave some room, but you know, you could have maybe been targeting this for a 1 to 2, or even this high, which still hasn't been taken, which I think will be taken next week for sure. After Tuesday, you could have moved it to break even and then let it just run, see what happens. That is the swing trade that could have been taken on that day. Obviously on the 5 minute on Monday, I guess the change of state could have been this on the 5 minute if you want a better confirmation. So this could have been the CISD. As you see, we took liquidity, then we had a CISD when we closed above this down close candle, came back into it, and then took off. That could have been your entry in there. Once it tapped that CISD, maybe had your stop below the actual candle that created the CISD. So it could have been something like this. Could have something like this here and have your stop at the bottom like that, and then still target the same targets. Like I said, it would be a swing trade, so you just got to let it run and see what happens. But let's see what happened on Tuesday. So Tuesday, a pretty good trade ended up setting up on Tuesday if we pay attention to what's really happening. Like I said, I was already bullish Tuesday. I believe I took it long and ended up getting stopped out, if I'm not mistaken, just because I was too early on my time alignments. Instead of waiting for price to show me that it wanted to go up, I got in a little bit too early. But you see, we took out the lows of, I believe, London. Yeah, we had taken out the lows of London and the low of day currently at that moment, and I was already bullish based off of just what we just did right here and how the week was portraying before then. So as you could see, we had already came down, took out this liquidity after we already took out that buy side liquidity. Then we had a bunch of stacked highs up here. The trade that could have been taken on that day was actually on the 5-minute. I got in too early, so that kind of was what messed me up. You could have been trading the PO3 on the 10 a.m. candle, 10 a.m. open there. We soup higher time frame liquidity. You know, we're still kind of respecting this 1 minute fair value gap right here. Come back down into it, respect it again. The CISD, still respecting the CISD, come back down, rebalance immediately, and then we boom. So honestly, I think on the 1 minute, let me see what's going on there. On the 1 minute, that's the trade that should have been taken on that day. I was bullish and I took it long, but I think I took a long like as soon as we souped this, and then I was up a little bit, and then boom, came right back down and took me out, something like that. But yeah, we had a 1 minute soup right there and then started to move up. Could have waited for honestly taking anything under this low as a long stop at the low after we started to disrespect these fair value gaps if I was already bullish, as you can tell. But price action in the morning has been kind of caca this week. I guess there's always like a weird theme. I've been noticing that, and I know you have noticed it as well. Like the afternoon sessions have been expanding crazy, or like the overnight sessions have been just expanding ridiculously. As you can see, just crazy expansions and crazy fast moves. But that means that when you come into New York session, is usually either choppy or it had already expanded. But let's move on to the next day, because that's basically it. It's pretty simple. You could have taken the range low from that day up to the current high of day. We came back to equilibrium, hit the order block, and then just took off. Pretty simple. We're already bullish on that day, and like I said, I'm just getting in too early. I'm having trouble with my time frame alignments, and I think I need to work on that, and that's what I'm going to be working on a lot this week. Yeah, let's see. Wednesday was the same thing. Wednesday, honestly, I was looking at this and pre-market, I had an idea that we were going to go up at 9:30, right? So we go up. So when I see us move up, I am like, okay, let me just wait for 10. Exactly at 10, we open and then just immediate rebalance. And I'm like, okay, so let's see what happens. I see the immediate rebalance, and then we come down again and kind of start chopping. And on the 5-minute, I'll show you. I got in on the 1 minute, and like I said, again, not aligning my time frames. So this is the immediate rebalance right here. We come down, immediately rebalance, and it came down this low because there was a 15-minute fair value gap on ES that was also lower. So this had to come down a bit lower to rebalance. I'll show you. I don't know if that was on that day, honestly. We came down and rebalanced the whole fair value gap and actually tapped it on Wednesday on ES. But let's go back to where I messed up at and what I want you to learn from where I'm messing up at. It's like I said, it's just aligning my time frames, because I have the correct bias in certain situations, but my time frames are not aligning. So I'll get stopped out before the move comes, or the move actually happens. But you can see this move right here from top to bottom. This was the move after the open that could have been taken. You can see 104 points, and that's a very good profit for a certain trade. I honestly would have been trying to target up here, but as soon as I saw it close under this fair value gap and start chopping like this, okay, that's it, done, out of there. Yeah, I was in here and caught up in the chop, but what I should have done, wait till a low gets put in, and then till we soup that liquidity and then look for an entry after that. That's what I didn't do, so that is my fault. But like you see right here, even if you take this wick that we had immediately rebalanced, we expected the CE of that wick with all this generated liquidity. This low right here could have been, these two lows honestly were liquidity. Those two lows were liquidity. That's where liquidity was taken. If I drop down into the 1 minute, I believe you also had an SMT right here, so this could have been the entry if you didn't take the original soup. But you see we have a change of state right here. So you could have taken the change of state once we came back into it and had your stop below the low, as you can see there. So you could have taken that, and then like I said, targeting up here, honestly I would have been targeting up there. But if you take the last manipulation leg and you projected higher, you could have taken it at the 2. You hit the negative 2.5 basically to the tick, as you can see there, hit it to the tick and then turned around. So that could have been the trade in itself. You know, it would have been a 2R, but at the same time, even if you caught the actual change of state of delivery, which was this right here, which is just this one down close candle candle, that would have been a crazy entry, honestly, and had it would have stopped like that just to be a little bit more protective and then caught that long. That's crazy accuracy too, but it's okay. That's the move that I should have been looking for. I got caught up in here. I think I took a trade right here after we bounced off of this 1 minute fair value gap and then touched this 1 minute order block, closed above. So I took a trade like right there. Then I did this, boom, came back, took me out, then went back up, then came back down, did the actual soup because this is now a 5 minute low that's placed, boom, and then this we had an SMT right here. So that could have been an even better type of setup. And like I said, you had the 1 minute CISD. You could have had the 1 minute CISD at the actual candle itself after it was closed above, or even right here once these last down close candles were closed above like this. But that's basically the trade from Wednesday that could have been taken. And honestly, I need to start deleting all this stuff, especially because it's like I feel like my charts be too cluttered sometimes, so I'm gonna make them a bit less cluttered, especially after I do my videos. But let's move on to Thursday, because Thursday was some chop fest in the morning. So literally Thursday was crazy because ES, if you watch, let's bring it up. This is Thursday on the 15 minute. All right, so this is what happened. So Thursday on the 15 minute, as you could see, this is the 930 low. So I was expecting Thursday to come down and at least soup this low to then move up, because I was still bullish. I was still extremely bullish. So I was anticipating for Thursday to soup that low, maybe even soup this low, and then start to move up, because they would have placed a big SMT, especially if we soup this low down here. It would have been a big SMT because you see how far it is for ES. So that would have put an SMT in right there. That was going to be a very good trade. But I was like, okay, we're looking bullish and we're chopping crazy. So if we take this low, most likely that's going to be the catalyst for us to start moving higher. So all I have to do is really look for a 1 minute change of state, because that is a 15 minute low, right? And at the time we came down, and I guess there was an SMT right here I was not paying attention to, if you're paying attention to it now. So yeah, I was like, okay, I just missed the move. It's all right. It's not that bad. It came up and got very close to that 4 hour high and then came back down. So I said, okay. And I took 2 trades inside of this fair value gap and got stopped out immediately. Straight up got stopped out immediately. Stopped too tight and not aligning my time frames. This is the actual day where the fair value gap was lower. So as you could see, when this came down, I was expecting it to just tap there and then go up. This one had to come even lower into the fair value gap, which is the same fair value gap, but it had to come in even lower. This one just boomed, souped the 10 o'clock opening price and then moved up. So I got caught up on that. But if I look on the 5 minute, for example, so this would be the 5 minute gap. A trade that could have been taken, I see some people take it, was taking the gap and then have their stop at the bottom of the gap to then target higher. You know, you could have got a 1 to 3 at this point and done something like this. I was aiming for this high. There was this high that got taken out. Did it get this high? Yeah, it even got the high of the day at that point, which was, I guess, London. Yeah, so I mean, we had the Asia highs up here, which were taken out as well. So you could have just been targeting Asia highs to get a 1 to 3. So that is kind of the trade that I was looking for, but I got in too early and my stop was too tight. So came back down, smoked me. I believe Trump was talking at 11 and I forgot to check, and I didn't see that Trump was talking at 11. So when this move happened, came down, stopped me out immediately. I took 2 longs quick and they're trying to get in to take the move and just got stopped out. But that's the move that was happening on Thursday, and as you can see, came back into that 5 minute gap and still respected it to then head higher. Can't really do much about it. Yeah, and I'm already done by then. So yeah, let's move on to Friday. So Friday, this is the last trade of the week. Today is the only day that I had the wrong bias. So Friday, I'm looking for this high to get taken out. I'm like, okay, that's probably the weekly objective. We're probably just gonna head up there, but we had already put the high in on Wednesday, so I could have anticipated a move back into the wick, because we had a pretty big move this week. Think about it. I mean, from high to low, let me hide these so it won't be so distracting, but from low to high, 700 point move this week. So you could have anticipated a short on Friday, so a TGIF Friday short, and that's what happened today. And it didn't make sense for me to take a long right there, because we souped the high of the previous day, and then if you look at the 4 hour, we come back and close within the range, as you see. So what do? We go back up at 10 and then boom, lower. And I was taking longs, and it's my fault. I was actually wrong on this day. The other days I was right on direction, but had how do I put it, but I had the incorrect entry. On this day I was just extremely wrong, and like I said, I framed the trade here after I was done trading later on in the day, because it did show up. But yeah, I took a trade in here, somewhere in in here. Yeah, somewhere in here. And then we started to move. I think it was during this candle at 10:05. We started to move higher. I seen this 5-minute gap, so I should have just been bearish at this point, right? 10 o'clock opens, goes up, hits the 1 minute up close candle that took out the soup of this candle. That's the manipulation of the 10 o'clock candle. So we boom, go up, and then close with speed, like a lot of speed. That should have showed me that, okay, the move is going to happen lower. We run this fair value gap, making it inverse. So there's no reason for me to think that we're going to come back and move higher. We have generated liquidity down here with all these lows. So you could see this is all generated liquidity. Trend line liquidity, all generated liquidity. And we have London lows right here. The reason also why I thought we were going to head higher was because we used the London, the Asia liquidity in London to bounce, and we were inside a 4-hour gap. So as you could see right here, we were inside this 4-hour fair value gap that we kind of used to come back up, and we're closing inside. So I'm like, okay, we're going to move higher. No, I was just wrong. Gotta be honest with myself on this day. I was just wrong, and I had an opportunity to take a nice short on that 5-minute gap, on that 5-minute fair value gap. I could have taken a short, something like this, maybe have my stop above the body. Honestly, it won't come back all the way up there, so then I would have been able to move it down. Honestly, I would have just been targeting the low of London, and it would have been a nice 5R. It's not a horrible trade, but then this setup later on in the session, it happened on the 15 minutes. So you have a 15-minute point of interest. Price comes back up into the 15-minute point of interest after showing characteristics that we are bearish. We want to go lower. We have a change of state in delivery on the 5-minute, on the 15-minute right here. That could have been an entry in itself, honestly. The change of state, the entry is the 15-minute POI, and we come back into the 15-minute, right? We have these up close candles right here, which are what we're looking for after a sweep of liquidity on the 1 minute, give us an entry, right? So you could have taken it on the soup, you could have taken it on the close under the CISD. Some people like to wait for it to come back and retest that, but sometimes if you have a lot of urgency, especially if there's an SMT, it's just gonna go. So sometimes you just gotta get in when the candle closes and have your stop above the protected high. So because this is technically the protected high right now, it's a 14-point stop. It's not a horrible stop to then target the lows of New York currently, and then, you know, letting it, you know, you could have let it run. That would have been a crazy trade if you were actually looking for the lows of Thursday, because the lows of Thursday were hit today. Could have been something like this if you really had it in you to leave it run for that long. This is the week that ended up happening. I am, you know, I'm still in a losing streak. Next week I'm coming different. Hopefully my Lord and Savior gives me the answers that I'm looking for, and I really show what I am capable of, because I know for a fact that there is a lot of things that I'm learning, that through this, you know, the storm that I'm going through, that there's a lot of things that I'm learning that for sure can be beneficial to me, and that for sure are gonna make me a better trader, better person in general. So either way, thank you so much for watching this video. If you had a good week, let me know that in the comments. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, make sure you follow me on TikTok, all the social medias. Thank you so much for the amount of support. The Instagram has been going crazy. I think we hit 60,000 views this month, and that's just ridiculous. Let's keep continuing to grow as traders. And if you want to join my Discord, join the Discord. If you want to build your own PC, go to techtronics.com and use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. All I gotta say is that everything happens for a reason. So if you're in a losing streak right now, just know that it's for a reason that you're in a losing streak. I think that it's for a reason that I'm in my current losing streak. I don't enjoy it, but it happens. It's part of the process of becoming a profitable trader. So yeah, make sure you check out my Instagram, like I said, for that series where I'm passing in a 50K account. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.